Hello everyone and welcome back to the Dugout. Usually it's a show that we don't host on weekends.
And not at 8:20.
Yeah, but I mean, cometh the hour and, as is the adage in old combat sports, whether it be pro wrestling, boxing, card subject to change. This was our card subject to change moment whereby we had to basically do a bit of a dugout because again a very interesting development has come up in the world of cricket. And the development, I'll just brief you guys if you haven't seen the video, we've done it's up on Sports Today, is that the Bangladesh Cricket Board have put out a release talking about the talks that they had with the ICC officials, and whilst they ended saying very clearly that there's no actual solution that has been reached and they're going to continue engaging in talks, the one interesting thing that they slipped in was that they mentioned that they asked for their group to be changed to ensure that their matches can that way easily be played in Sri Lanka without, in theory, risking the logistical challenges of shifting other teams in their group, their matches into Sri Lanka. It's a move that, truth be told, a lot of us foresaw coming, but the fact that they put it out now in the open, so that tells you that that seems to be the line that they're going to be pushing.
See, it is now absolutely crystal clear. Whatever it is, this one option is out. Bangladesh are not going to play in India under any circumstances. The BCB have made it clear, and whatever it is, whatever the internal advisor might have said, whatever he has said, BCB didn't want to put it out now, but these are the reasons that we know at this point in time. So, not just Pakistan, even with Bangladesh now, you have to make that concession that you are not going to let them play in India. There were going to be 3 games in Kolkata, 1 in Mumbai. Those games will have to be now shifted to Sri Lanka. And Bangladesh are in Group C because West Indies, Nepal, Italy, England, Bangladesh, they were all going to play in the particular Indian cities that we have mentioned. So it's done. You are only looking at Sri Lanka. But which team and which group is going to get impacted? That we'll have to look out.
Yeah, and see, that's the thing, because it's easy to say, like, you and I talking, saying, oh, just swap the groups. But we know that there's no even distribution of matches. In fact, when we go over how the groups are, there's 4 groups. There's A, B, C, and D. The only group that is seeing all of their matches being played in Sri Lanka is Group B.
Yes.
Group B, that's because it happens to have the co-host Sri Lanka. So all of Sri Lanka's matches are being played in Sri Lanka. And in fact, when it comes to Group A, that's the other group which has matches played in Sri Lanka with the obvious one rider, Pakistan are playing over there. So it's only Pakistan's matches that are going to take place in Sri Lanka. Rest all games, by and large, are taking place in India. India will play Namibia, Netherlands and USA. In India. The only team that they're going to be playing in Sri Lanka is Pakistan. Same applies to the other nations. They're all playing in India.
Yeah. Whoever plays Pakistan, whether Pakistan, Namibia, Pakistan, Netherlands, Pakistan, USA, will all take place in Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
On the other hand, Sri Lanka, when you look at Group B, they will host all their games in Sri Lanka. But Group C, now this is where from Group C, which group will they want to change with? And remember, this is a full nation team.
Exactly. That's the key challenge, because I remember when when the schedule was put out, they mentioned very clearly that the division was made between dividing not only full member nations, but also teams that have had championship pedigree or come close to winning have all been spread out into different groups. Similarly, so if you look at Group B and Group C, the full member nations that are there, as it were, Group B has got Australia, Ireland, Sri Lanka and Zimbabwe. These are all 4 technically full member nations, with Oman being the only associate.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, if you look at Group C, which features Bangladesh, you've got Bangladesh, England and the West Indies. Italy and Nepal are what you would term as associate nations. So when you're looking at this, it seems that you'd have to potentially swap out. And again, if you're talking about the division, it wouldn't be fair if you swap out a Bangladesh, for instance, for, say, Australia or Sri Lanka. Why? Because Australia, Sri Lanka are both teams that have won the World Cup in the past.
Yes.
So that also then eliminates Australia and Sri Lanka, from the reckoning. Which means that theoretically the only teams that you could swap out would be Ireland or Zimbabwe. It would be one of these 2 teams who end up switching groups.
But because I read somewhere that even Ireland have refused. Because Ireland have said that, look, we are going to play our games in Sri Lanka. The logistical operations are such that we will have to play there. And that is, see, that's what. This is one comment. Cricket Ireland has received assurances from the ICC that they will not be forced to swap groups with Bangladesh in the T20 World Cups. Ireland's games will be played in Sri Lanka as planned.
That means Zimbabwe are the only team left.
Poor Zimbabwe.
Unless you take the extreme decision and tell Oman to switch out, but I think that's unlikely.
A full member nation with a full member nation. As an associate with an associate. That is the way how it goes.
Yeah. So if you're going to make the swap, then I think Zimbabwe seem to be the only logical option. If you're going to make that swap, which means you could see potentially, let's say, Australia, Ireland, Oman, Sri Lanka, and Bangladesh as being the group, with it being England, Italy, Nepal, West Indies, and Zimbabwe.
Oh my goodness!
Oh dear, this is
where you see where the situations become such a big khichdi. Because now look, Bangladesh are adamant they will be playing in Sri Lanka only. Now they have thrown the ball in the ICC's court. Now you decide in which group will we be in and where are the venues that we will have to be put up in. Because see, all the games that Kolkata and Mumbai had for Bangladesh, that's now gone. If you swap, say for example, Group C. Now Group C, if Bangladesh, God and Zimbabwe come in, then Zimbabwe will play 3 in Kolkata and 1 in Mumbai.
Exactly.
And Bangladesh, whatever games Zimbabwe are playing in, they'll be playing in that particular. So let's have a look, okay? Let's have a look as to where Zimbabwe might be playing.
Yeah, the easy way to figure that out is to just check where it is or when it is that Bangladesh are playing and then just simply swap them out. That could be what we know as the changed this thing. And of course, see, it is worth remembering, guys, that nothing is official yet.
Yeah.
But everything seems to be hinting towards that direction.
Okay.
The fact that the Bangladesh Cricket Board put that out in their release was not a coincidence.
Yep. So see, Zimbabwe, Oman at the Sinhalese Sports Club. Australia, Zimbabwe at the Premadasa Stadium. Ireland, Zimbabwe, Palakele. Sri Lanka, Zimbabwe in Premadasa. So you do a simple swap and that's it. Replace it with Bangladesh, Ireland, Bangladesh at Palakele, Australia, Bangladesh at Premadasa, Bangladesh, Oman in Sinhalese Sports Club, and Bangladesh, Sri Lanka at the R. Premadasa Stadium. So Bangladesh and Sri Lanka are having a repeat of 2024 again because these were the guys that were in the same group. They could be in the same group all over again. Again, why we are stating that it won't be possible in Group D? Because Group D, all games are played in India.
Exactly.
Group C, all games are in India. That is why
they are already in Group C. So
they are
Group
already in
C
Group
is
C.
ruled out.
Group A
has games being played, but only for Pakistan.
Yeah.
And that was pre-planned, so teams were well aware of the logistics already.
Yes.
So actually, Group B was the only logical group. And as we were saying, if Ireland have put it out and said that no, we've been given assurances that we'll not be forced to swap, the next logical thing is that then either Zimbabwe have agreed either under duress or otherwise.
Well, Zimbabwe agreeing under duress, I mean, it's a long and sorry tale of what has happened because see, their finances are in the pits.
Yeah.
They don't have that much of clout. They are in the fringes of the WTC. They don't even get a WTC game. They'll only play 11 tests in 2 years because they'll play only one off, a 2-test series. They will never play a 3-test series. So that's why they don't have any clout, whatever comes their way. They are glad that they're even playing an ICC event. Because correct me if I'm wrong, I think in 2024 Zimbabwe weren't there. I think they missed out on the qualifiers in the African group.
They played, I remember. That was a very epic year. They beat Pakistan and all that happened. The Mr. Bean Derby.
Yeah.
So they were there. But yeah, 24, I think they missed out. So the fact that they're back now, and the fact is also you have to remember the amount of turmoil they had been in prior to that. You're talking about the financial mismanagement.
Correct.
The board got banned. There was, because of political interferences and things like that. So we know full well that they would actually not, they'd have no choice but to agree if it was really positive.
Yeah. So, yes, it wasn't there. They weren't there in they were in Uganda, Papua New Guinea, Namibia were there.
Yeah.
And Group D was SA, Bangladesh, SL, Netherlands, Nepal, PNG, Uganda, New Zealand, Afghanistan, West Indies, Oman, Namibia, Scotland, Australia, England, India, USA, Pakistan, Canada, Ireland. So yes, so that's why, again, because they have gotten a chance to play in an ICC event, Zimbabwe will have to be the obvious choice.
They'll be the obvious scapegoats. But then that brings me to the next question, Siddharth, and this is perhaps where, you're addressing something very troubling and something that's only theoretical. What does this now eventually mean for the sport of cricket? We've seen hybrid models come about because India said we won't travel to Pakistan. Pakistan retaliated in kind saying we won't travel to India, so a hybrid model concession was made for them. Now you've reached a point where you are actually considering, it's out there in the open, that if these teams don't want to travel, then we'll swap groups. Is there any sanctity left to an ICC tournament and its scheduling anymore?
No, it hasn't. Because see, as I had mentioned earlier, there is a weaponization of the game of cricket. If there is diplomatic tensions, I'm sorry. You are not going to see handshakes. We are not going to tour you there. You are also not going to come and tour over here. Now, in this case, Bangladesh, they had to strike first because of what happened with the apparent humiliation. Mustafizur, the whole Mustafizur thing. And this is where it boils down to all the officials, if they had thought in a very sane manner, if they were aware of whatever was going on. You mean to say that our IPL, GC and all the members of the franchisees and the various stakeholders that were there, they were not aware of what is going on geopolitically? It is like I suddenly woken up after 40 years and realized, oh, there is a current world war going on. That is the thing. If they were far more alive, you see, this is the blowback. The blowback is Mustafizur's humiliation. I'll call it a humiliation.
Yeah, because he did nothing wrong.
He did nothing wrong. But you picked him and suddenly, no, pressure. Because we suddenly woke up that the minorities have been persecuted in Bangladesh. Oh,
so release him.
Release him. Convenient weaponization, convenient diplomacy, convenient awareness and unawareness is killing the sanctity of the sport. And you're right. There is no sanctity left in ICC. You're having a double front hybrid model. Why host in India then? If you're going to have tensions between two countries who are your neighbors, why host it? You should have very well kept all the games in Sri Lanka. BCB you've done in 2012, you hosted all the games in Sri Lanka. It was a grand success anyway. Why burden yourself and keep it in India? Because I'll again tell you, the same situation is going to be repeated in 2029. Why? Champions Trophy. It'll be in India. 2031, wonder of wonders, India and Bangladesh are your co-hosts. Good luck with that in 2031 in the World Cup.
Oh dear.
This is the thing. And anyway, the sanctity is gone because you're hosting an ICC event every year. The novelty factor is gone. Every year there's an ICC event. Here, this tournament, what will be the hype? It won't be, oh, who's SWOT? Strength, weakness of threats of every team. No. Bangladesh coming, not coming, coming, not coming. That is the build-up. And this is where we have shifted away from the sanctity of the sport. Politics has run its course. And you're seeing the outcome of it.
I agree. I mean, see, you look at how it is that, when India made the demand for the hybrid model at first, I did say, okay, I can understand geopolitics is coming here. But as you correctly pointed out, then the sport got weaponized. Because it was like, okay, we have a lot of political tension, so now we are going to use this and try and show our might from the sporting perspective. Why do I say this? Is because, again, I go back to 2023 when India and Pakistan were set to face off in a Davis Cup World Group playoff. Basically, it was the playoff match to determine who gets promoted into the World Group. That tie was supposed to take place in Pakistan. India did the same thing. It told the ITF, the International Tennis Federation, that no, we can't travel to Pakistan, security concerns, yada yada. You know what the ITF told them? They said either go play the match or forfeit it. Pakistan get promoted. What happened after that? They went and played the match. They played the ties. They won the ties convincingly. They got promoted to the World Group. So it just shows that if you have strong governance of the sport, then there'll be no room whatsoever there'll be no wiggle room.
Strong governance and strong financial support. Because I'll tell you why. Even in the midst of Operation Sindoor, India and Pakistan played a beach volleyball game. India wanted to boycott, but then the federation themselves said, you can't. We don't have the money to pay the fine. And you don't want to risk a 2-year ban. $10,000, that was the fine. They don't have that. Beach volleyball in India. Where does beach volleyball get all its thing? It's because of your very weak and dark underbelly that you don't have any kind of clout. US can very well do it with any other country. Oh, we won't do it. We will not entertain you because we have the money. We can ensure that, okay, even if we don't play, it is not a big loss. But since the BCCI, ICC and all of them are greedy, they want to make their cake and eat it too. Geopolitical tensions, keep it in the side, okay? Let's put a...
You guys play?
Let's put a very thin blanket over it. You play, after that we'll remove the blanket, you resume your fighting. That is the way it is going on, and that's why...
You've done it twice now, because again, India and that's the thing I always used to talk about or think about, is that when you first granted it to India, you set a precedent. that tomorrow any nation can come, say also that we are having political issues and we fear that there's a security issue and we don't want to travel. You did it for Pakistan. Now it's not one but two nations you've given the same concession to. Fine, to Bangladesh you may have said that, oh, we can't do a hybrid model now at the last minute, but you're still making a concession for them. What is to stop any other nation to start demanding similar things tomorrow? There can very well be concessions asked. Protocol, people will say, oh, but the protocol now is this. This is the bed you've made, and in the future, you're now going to have to lay on it. That any team can come up with something similar. God forbid, tomorrow India, Sri Lanka have political tensions. It has been the case in the past. Then how you can forget co-hosting any tournament in the subcontinent.
And trivia, the only Asia Cup that India didn't play was because of security tensions in Sri Lanka.
Exactly.
That was the only time. It was not because of tensions with Pakistan you abandoned a particular tournament. You had security concerns in Sri Lanka that forced you, we can't. The Anuradhapura massacre of 1985, the Indians said, no, we can't go there. And that's where tensions escalated.
Correct.
So that is where, hosting ICC events and any kind of sporting events in South Asia now is a big problem.
Yeah, because on one hand, you've got the fan bases. So you're looking at the fan bases and seeing dollar signs. On the other hand, the geopolitical situation is so bad that at this point in time, aside from Sri Lanka and maybe Afghanistan to an extent, India has problems with almost everyone.
But Afghanistan are also on a technicality. Because remember, the men's team also shouldn't be there in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, basis the ICC.
The rule and the constitution states that every member should have even a proper women's team.
We know that Afghanistan don't have.
Which is why Australia don't entertain in bilaterals.
Exactly.
But again, they are forced to play in the ICC.
That's a different
matter altogether. So that is why, look, Australia can very well afford it because they are not going to lose out on anything. England can very well do it against the likes of Zimbabwe and all the others, but they can't do it against the bigger nations. So every nation is hamstrung by the ICC demand that is there at this point in time.
Yeah, and there's a tournament every year now, sometimes two in a year.
Yeah. And today also there has been tremendous confusion over what has happened. Bangladesh put out a statement saying, there was some lapse in concentration and that is why the handshake didn't happen. But for me, that is like a smokescreen, honestly.
Yeah, and for one, I don't think, I find it very surprising that Bangladesh are claiming some sort of this thing here, when I thought that actually it was a case of that neither of them looked like they were very keen to shake hands.
Exactly.
I'm being very honest with you.
Exactly.
So I don't understand where that is coming from. It's just consistently at this point in time, everything that we are seeing now on the cricketing field is being dominated by geopolitical tensions.
Indeed.
And it's becoming tiring.
It has now become tiring. It is now becoming so predictable. We don't know whether to focus on the cricket or any other developments of the field. Because they will release statements, they will put out these things which changes the dynamics, who dominates the communication discourse. Who's winning the PR battle? Who's winning the communication battle? At this point in time, I would say prior to this, Bangladesh are winning the communication battle. They have been very concise in their communication statements.
Very clear. They have consistently been putting out communications, whereas with the ICC or even the BCCI, everything which is being said is either a nothing burger or nothing at all.
Nothing at all.
So it's a classic case of, Bangladesh are trying to push the narrative even publicly because such releases from the BCB have become pretty commonplace over the past couple of weeks.
The mouse has roared. The lion is squeaking. That is the thing. Bangladesh have made it clear. I mean, imagine, they have dictated. They are clear. No, we will not play in India. And the ICC has had to yield.
The ICC, which by the way, every major cricketing nation says is controlled by India, they are reaching a point where they are going to have to yield. And it might seem a shock to certain people, but again, I must remind you, it's the same ICC pretty much that also yielded to the PCB's demand, saying that no boss, we will not play in India. Remember, they put out a whole release for that, stating that 4 ICC tournaments from this time period to this time period, India and Pakistan will, if they play in neutral venues. They put that out. It became a part of the lexicon of the ICC. Which global sport is governed like this? None is the answer.
FIFA, I don't think, bend over backwards.
FIFA, IOC, the two major tournaments which I always say, which are very big on,
Yeah, the biggest ever.
Yeah, the FIFA World Cup and the Olympics, not necessarily in that order. They are very clear. They're like, no boss, you don't want to play, it's simple. You don't play. You boycott, that's your choice. We're not changing anything. The rule is the same for everyone. Tomorrow, if Brazil have geopolitical tensions with another nation, Just because they are 5-time champions, FIFA will not bend over to accommodate them. They will not.
I mean, why Brazil? Just ask Russia. They are considered to be the superpowers, but they have not had sporting representation for close to a decade.
Yeah, in fact, look at, you're talking about that. Can you imagine a situation in ICC tournaments whereby 4-time world champions don't qualify for back-to-back tournaments?
Oh, yes.
Did FIFA bend the rules to make them
No.
qualify? No. They said, no, boss, you didn't qualify, then you didn't qualify. FIFA tournaments, even winning the tournament doesn't guarantee you qualification because the tournament winners also have to go through the qualification cycle.
Correct.
Whichever team wins, they have to qualify.
They have to qualify.
It's not guaranteed.
It's an equal footing. That is what
And the same thing happens with the IOC. They do not absolutely give any concessions. There is nothing. Meanwhile, ICC, you may as well call them the international cricket concessions.
Yes.
Because that's all they're doing. It is one concession after the other.
They are not playing a game of cricket. They're playing a game of concessions. Yeah. That is the thing. Everything concession. Oh, do this here. Yeah, adjust karo, jugaad karo, do this, do that. But let the game continue.
That's the key part. The game must go on. That show must go on kind of mentality is something that I hated in a lot of sports. I remember hating it in Formula 1 in 2021 when they bent the rules to give Max Verstappen his first championship. That was that. Because if it were according to the rules, then the race should have ended. Yeah. The race should have ended in the safety car, and Hamilton should have been.
And also, the car shouldn't have been lapped.
Exactly. Or the car shouldn't have been allowed to
unlap. Yeah,
that is the key part. Yeah, if you had to allow the cars, it should have been all cars or no cars.
But an Australian trying to get the better of a British. Where have you heard that before?
Heard that one before?
Exactly. So that's why, to cut a long chase short, the demand for a group change, Bangladesh are in Group C. The likelihood is that they will probably, although nothing official.
Yeah, it's nothing official, but it seems like that is.
They will replace Zimbabwe.
That seems to be the route we are going on. And again, as I said, we've shared our opinions. Now we'd like to hear from you guys as well. So let's go through a few comments because I see there are a few of you who even on a weekend joining us. Highly appreciate that, guys. By the way.
Yeah.
Let's see. So have we got anything? No. So let's go to the live chat.
Let's go to live chat.
Yeah. Let's go up straight, and you've got Riya Prasad saying if India-Bangladesh relations are going to keep getting spoiled, then 2031 World Cup India-Bangladesh is going to be hosting. India-Pakistan match, where exactly is it going to happen? That's a golden question, and it's something you raised, Sid, that apparently we are co-hosts for that. How is that going to work out? By the way, there's another, pitfall that is about to be navigated this year that I'm not sure anyone has quite figured out yet. It's in the sport of football. You know why? 2026, the SAF Senior Men's Championships is set to be hosted by
Bangladesh. Brilliant.
Will you send your football team now with everything that's going on? If you send your football team, are you saying they are not as important as your cricket team?
Exactly.
Going to raise a lot of outrage.
And when is that? In October?
September, October,
the same time as the Indian team are scheduled to go to Bangladesh, the cricket team. Oh, damn.
See, so what happens is that you have FIFA windows for the international breaks. So the SAF, since it's a smaller tournament, they finish it off quickly. So they hold it in one of the FIFA windows, and that's early in the season. Right now, there's no FIFA windows till March. That will be the last one. After that, then you've got World Cup. And so once the World Cup is done, season starts September, October is when it will be here.
Yeah.
That's another.
So, okay, where will India-Pakistan matches happen? UAE?
The moon?
UAE could happen in Mars. By that time you would have gone to Mars also. So it will happen in Mangal. That is the thing I would say.
Yeah, so even Dex is saying that ban matches in SL.
Yeah, it will happen.
It seems to
it will happen at this point.
Scroll down, Shivam. We'll take a few more.
Few more
people who are giving comments.
So Dex is again saying, Ireland doesn't want to be swapped. They might come hard on ICC. That's what I've given.
Yeah.
I've given the update that Ireland have been given the assurance by the ICC they will not be swapped.
Exactly. So if something changes now suddenly, that is going to remain very interesting because again, then what? What are you going to suddenly palto? I don't think so. Let's just scroll down a little bit. Let's take a couple more.
These are all been taken.
Same one. No.
Okay. Dex is saying, said BCB officials saying about Bangla players and team that they take loss after loss in ICC and has not put anything. I agree with him.
See, Dex, what he's saying is not entirely wrong.
But actually, what Nazmul Islam said, I mean, if you look at it from a very disjointed way, actually, he did say the truth.
He said if from a very objective sense. The point is, though, how would our fans react if you've had failure for a few... like when we were going through that rut
11-year
not
rut,
winning,
yeah.
ICC tournaments, if there was something similar happening and some BCCI official said, what's the point of sending them? It's not like they win anyway.
Yeah.
There would have been uproar in the country. Do not even,
Yeah.
go there. Anita Sadhu is saying, India didn't shake hands with the Bangladeshi player. The next step should be that we Indians should not wear garments which are made from Bangladesh. Indian players should be benches in field and protest. Well done, Anita.
I mean, see, you are connected in so many ways. For example, if you want to boycott China, but 99% of our lives revolve around Chinese products.
Yeah, exactly. Manufacturing wise.
I mean, for example, phones, chargers, electrical appliances, certain device. I mean, if you want to look at it, it's all China. What do you do? So Rohan is like saying in 1986-87, India didn't play Asia Cup in Sri Lanka, not because of security, but because due to bad umpiring in the previous series. But SL did bring back Dickie Bird and David Shepard. No, Roshan, that was one very small reason, but bad umpiring has not been one of the reasons.
The main reason was security.
85, when you look at it, there was the Anuradhapura massacre that took place, and there was a very strong concern that maybe India could get targeted. That's why they didn't play. Bad umpiring has been peddled as the urban myth, but then check out the Anuradhapura massacre that happened in 85. Then Sid BCB, okay, that we have taken.
Yeah, go down. We'll just
Right.
go all the way down. See if there's one, two more things we can take.
It's the same
See, no,
thing.
it's the same stuff.
Yeah, Danush is saying Tilak can't play T20 World Cup. Pick Shreyas, right decision, scored 50 last T20I, still dropped, and Sky captain T20 World Cup's average in last 22 innings is like Don Bradman.
One hopes that really works out well for him.
See, Tilak is not there for the first 3 games.
Yeah, minimum.
So that is the thing. But then the conundrum is around Sundar. Will Sundar be there? If Sundar is not there, then you have
We
to.
took that, sure.
Yeah. Freaking awesome. If USA or China was in the place of Bangladesh, I'm sure India wouldn't have done this against them. Bangladesh is playing ugly politics. This is politics. This is politics for you. I mean,
it's true. I mean, see, this is now it's descended. It's no longer about sport. You have descended.
it's an ego tussle.
Yeah, it's a political ego tussle, and sadly, the only ones who are losing here are fans and the sport, because you have now
And anybody who wants to cover it. It leaves a sour taste in your mouth.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to be sitting and talking about the political ramifications of this. So
Yeah.
I don't really know. Anyway,
It is.
yeah, this is global politics, is what he's
It's
saying.
global
That's right.
politics,
He's
yeah.
right. This is what happens when you've politicized the sport to this extent. And this is not just an India thing. Yes, we've played our part, but now everyone is doing it, and it's just muddied the waters. As a sports fan, I feel sad.
It is.
It's just no good. Anyway, thank you guys so much for joining us on this discussion. We hope you guys enjoyed it. And sorry if we couldn't take all your comments. It's not always possible, but do drop us a comment as well after the video is done. And if you enjoyed our work, don't forget, like, share, subscribe, tap the bell, follow us on socials, check out other content as well. And so that, go ahead.
Yeah, Nandri, Vanakkam, Shubhrata, Ashish. So this means ICC has surrendered against Bangladesh. Why? They should take a stand. Not possible, my friend.
Not possible. Their own precedent makes it impossible.
Yeah, that's the thing. So that is the thing. It is not going to take place with that. Any other development, we'll do it when we get an official thing. So Nandri, Vanakkam, Shubhratri, Shabba Khair, eat your vegetables, don't trouble your mother. Join us for more videos that are coming your way. Subscribe, tap that bell icon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.